We talked about this being a potential problem for the Denver Broncos. It looked like it was going to be a problem in training camp and the preseason. A lot of people brushed it off, but I kept trying to say that this is something we need to monitor because it could rear its ugly head in the regular season, and that's what we saw today. I'm talking about the Denver Broncos offensive line. Last season, they were one of the best offensive lines in football, but as I always like to say, offensive line is one of the most volatile positions in sports. Just because you were good the previous year doesn't mean that you're going to be good the following year. And that unfortunately seems to be the case with this Broncos offensive line. They were not good, especially on the interior, with the same two guys that I was saying were going to potentially be a problem, Luke Wattenberg and Ben Powers. I don't have any advanced data. That stuff hasn't come out yet from PFF and other outlets that I use, but based on the eye test, me being at the game, and me watching the highlight reel over, it did not look good. Ben Powers and Luke Wattenberg were consistently getting out-leveraged in the run game. They were getting mauled up front by Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat. Both of those guys I said could be a potential problem in this game, and they were even more of a problem than I thought. In terms of the passing game, Jeffrey Simmons had 8 total pressures. That's a stat that I saw on Twitter. But in the run game, both of those guys, Simmons and Sweat, they were both just causing problems for this Broncos offensive line. They couldn't get much of a run game in the first 3 quarters, and I know that fans were frustrated that Sean Payton didn't commit to the run game, but it's hard when you're only getting 2 yards per clip because you're running right into the teeth of Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat. And even on the edge, I thought that Draymond Jones and Arden Key did a good job keeping contain and not letting any of those big plays hit the outside. So the Titans, I thought, played the Broncos run scheme rather well today, and I talked about how they did have the personnel to do so. I just didn't know if they were going to actually do it, and sure enough, they did. Finally, the Broncos' run game did break through a little bit there in that fourth quarter. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey had some nice runs. R.J. Harvey had that big run, and then J.K. Dobbins had that touchdown run, so there was some signs of life there, but the offensive line, that's been the common denominator with this Broncos run game. The Broncos went out and basically rebuilt their backfield. They didn't have a single player who saw significant snaps for them last year in their backfield active today. Jaleel McLaughlin was not active, and then Tyler Bidet, they tried to make him the third down back, and it didn't go well at all. Had a couple of bad drops, so the personnel in the running back room definitely has some issues in terms of Tyler Bidet. I think we're going to see Jaleel maybe up next week, but it's all different. The offensive line is what's the same, and unfortunately, we're still seeing issues with run blocking on the offensive line, and we're seeing issues with them letting pressure through on the quarterback. Now, Bo Nix did hold on to the ball too long a couple of times. I didn't think Bo Nix played a good game. If you want to hear my thoughts on Bo Nix, you can click the link in the description below, and it'll take you to a video that I made earlier this evening. But the offensive line did him no favors. The run game outside of the fourth quarter did him no favors. Denver was able to pad their stats a little bit, running the clock out there towards the end of the game. But outside of that, man, it just was not good enough. And I am pinpointing that on the Broncos offensive line, which we talked about, had issues in training camp in the preseason, and it still has issues here in the regular season. I'm confident, or at least I'm hopeful, that they'll get some of these issues worked out as we go throughout the next couple of weeks, but it's not like your opponents up front are going to get any easier. Indianapolis next week has guys like Grover Stewart, and they've got guys like DeForest Buckner that can really make your life hell up front. Then the following week, you're going to have the Chargers. They've got a good interior defensive line. The Bengals don't really have a very good defensive line, so that's going to be good news for the Broncos. But then you've got Philadelphia, who has an excellent D-line. You've got the Jets. So this is not going to get any easier for the Broncos in terms of their matchups up front. They better get their stuff together quickly, or they're going to have to make some changes on the offensive line. We talked about how the injury to Nick Gargiulo in the preseason was a potential bad news situation for the Broncos because he had played so well and, quite frankly, was playing better than Ben Powers. And Ben Powers, man, woof, he looked terrible out there. He really did. I can't wait until the advanced metrics come out tomorrow, and we'll kind of do a part 2 to this video when that does happen. But, yeah, as far as the eye test, me being at the game, me watching it, at least the highlight reel over again, ugh, gross. All right, Broncos country, let me know your thoughts on how this offensive line performed. Do you think they were up to snuff, or do you think they have a lot of question marks that they need to answer? Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts, as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country, just like you and me. Additionally, guys, if you want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. That would be absolutely incredible. Not mandatory whatsoever, but if you want to help me out and help boost the growth of this channel, it would be awesome if you would consider it. The link is in the description below. There are 2 tiers that you can choose from. And before we get out of here, guys, I want to tell you about the affiliate partner for today's video. Well, never mind, I won't, because you can't see the helmet. All right, guys, and until next time, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.